biggest project in my life. Biggest in terms of the amount of the resources and the amount of the time and effort required.
The larger the company, right, and the more complicated the issue is, the longer time it takes to actually resolve it. Like you said, this is the largest and the longest probably IT audit and implementation that you have done as a result of the IT audit during the whole time, right? What are the instruments? I mean, probably if you are called in, then there is someone at least that thinks, okay, something is wrong.
Yeah.
we have a problem. But how do you win the other maybe C-level members? What do you do? The audit is actually like a summary of the problems and issues that are gathered from the operational level that probably the C-level doesn't see or do not notice for some reason, right? It's a big case, or it's a large enterprise in the banking sector, right?
Yeah. The case I selected second, that's very interesting because that's the biggest project in my life. Biggest in terms of the amount of the resources and the amount of the time and effort required. So it was a very big enterprise company which works on the financial software development. They created a lot of product, like 40 plus products. They very well established, 25 plus years on the market, a very big company, 3,000 of the engineers, a lot of offices all across the world, stuff like that. At the time they arise with the problems, the situation was the following. The market is very well defined for the big financial institutions, and you need to move to the different areas of the market, like for the smaller companies. As a result, your process of the product delivery is kind of not fit, because if you have the very big retail product, which is aimed for the very big companies. Big companies, in most cases, they have very complicated processes, and they slow in pace. And that's okay to, let's say you're delivering the product to the company, like spending a month or two. That's okay. For the smaller companies, that's not feasible because, they have a shorter product cycle, shorter cycle to change something. They pivoting a lot and stuff like that. So you cannot take so much time, to deliver the product. Like they won't satisfy that pace. So the problem was we need to dramatically shorten the time to market from the code is ready to the actual delivery to the client. Because that company is very well established, very big, they a lot of different departments, with a lot of different ideas how to do that, but the execs won't actually select the particular decision for that. So they asked us, the external team, hey guys, we have a problem, a statement of the problem. They have a different kinds of solutions. How well we will select that, not having an experience in working with the technologies, world asking us to work with. We're starting working with the team. We'll created a small team of the auditors, having access to all the processes, to all the teams inside the company. Spend some time understanding what's going on, and they find out that they also not having just the technological issues, which is the legacy. For example, they used very dated software. Main software called financial front end is written on the ANSI, so the first version of the C language. For example, there was a lot of issues inside the organizational part of the company. So most of the departments won't change actually. So they are very eagerly stepping back all the issues, all the new technologies, all the initiatives where we can change or add something or whatever, change, because they have the good reasoning that works. Why we should do that? As a result, we are defining the actual strategy. The biggest challenge for the company was the moving to the cloud native deployment of the software, because software is very big, as I said before, and that's a very big problem to how you containerize that and moving to the cloud, like Kubernetes and stuff like that. For the big software, it's an issue. The problem was they are not having an experience. So inside the company, there are no specialists which is actually working with that technology. So we created, after the initial investigation and having the plan, we created a team of actually multiple teams of the specific personnel with the specific qualifications, called that breakthrough teams. We start working on the actual implementation of the plan. So first year was just the planning, preparation, and creating the teams and creating proof of concepts. So we take that big enterprise software and trying to deliver that the new way. So recreating the build process, the test process, the actual delivery process. We created the POCs. That was fine. They works well. The second year we will implement that approach to all the products inside the company. That's one. And second one, we are resolving the issue is the lack of the experience inside the company. So we learn people, so we teach people all across the company to how to work with that technologies. On the third year, we actually have achieved the success and final results. So time to market of the box product, which is not requires the actual changes in the code, was reduced dramatically, like hundreds of times. So from the months we are switched to the hours, or literally. So we're just giving the a comment, and then if in an hour or two you have the working very big application. Because of that, we company was able to establish foothold on the new markets. So middle level companies agree to work with that, and even some regions was opened. It created a new product. So company established the SaaS platform. So using its own box software, they created a department which is actually created in the two regions in Europe and the PAC. They created a data center where they put using that cloud native technologies its own software, and proposing to use that for the even smaller companies, not the middle level, the companies which is not having its own data center, so SaaS platform. And overall, because that technology stack involves of different approaches on some particular processes, like how you building software, how you're testing software, how you're resolving issues in the software, the observability stack and stuff like that. We achieved a 40% reduction of the average delivery time of the particular feature. So from the code implemented to the operations. That was the biggest project in my life in terms of the audit, and there was the biggest company I am worked with in the as an engineer. A lot of issues here, but as a result, very big success.
Thank you very much. Highly appreciate the experience that you shared. There is a question from Darren, which we can address after the summary. I will just quickly summarize this case, right? So basically, the company in the fintech and banking vertical, they faced an issue of declining revenue. So that was the business problem, right, for them. The technological problem was more on the delivery side, actually, of time to market, of release of the time to market of new features, right? Which meant that they were lagging behind their competition, and they wanted to move faster, right? And release new features faster and improve the time to market and then efficiency in that, right? And after the result was, after they have done that, I remember we discussed this case before, that sometime in some cases, features that took 2 months to release, they were able to release them in a few hours, right? So or maybe days, I don't remember.
Actually the software was so complicated, a lot of different buttons, right, and the configuration options. So just to deploy the software like from the scratch, all right, you have the service, let's deploy that software. They spend 1 or 2 months just to put the working already done test and working software to that particular environment.
Right.
Because you need a lot of the connections, you need a lot of the configuration, stuff like that. So in general idea, they not having the common configuration. Actually, that's numerous common configurations for different customers, and they done that during that project.
Right. And a third maybe conclusion from this case is that the larger the company, right, and the more complicated the issue is, the longer time it takes to actually resolve it. Like you said, this is the largest and the longest probably IT audit and implementation that you have done as a result of the IT audit during the whole time, right, during your career. Darren had a question. I see. Probably it's a common question both for case number 1 and case number 2. How do you win stakeholders and their political maybe will, right? That, I mean, there are people that have done a certain that have conducted certain work, right? They have committed to it and they think that it works good, right? And probably there will be some organizational resistance, right? Both on top level, mid level, right, and downwards. What are the instruments? I mean, probably if you are called in, then there is someone at least that thinks, okay, something is wrong.
Yeah.
we have a problem. But how do you win the other maybe C-level members? What do you do?
Well, actually, yeah, you're right. So at least we have one person which is interested in in our involvement. In most general, that's a group. Well, I'd say of the managers, maybe that the technical lead, maybe that the business lead, whatever. Yeah, but that's one of the questions: how we will sell the overall audit to the company of the different levels of
audit, and maybe even implementation, right?
Yeah, as a result. That's one of the big issues. What are you going to do? First of all, you're getting, we're working with the people. You have two, I'd say approaches. One is forceful. So, all right, we are going to the higher ups and ask them, hey guys, we need the particular authorities to force people to do something. That's obviously the very bad way. We are almost none. We are using that. Sometimes it requires help from the higher management to force something, but in most cases it's not. During the audit, we start talking to the people, so they're finding the connection. So we're finding out what's going on, and our result, our report at the end, that includes all the issues we find out. So we are not talking about the particular issue was called initially, like for example, we cannot release the product like for the few cycles, like 90% completeness of the 90% of the time. We find out all the issues, and because that issues comes from the particular people, that's a very easy to all right, hey guys, you have the problem. Let's say the automated testing. So you're saying all the time for the management, we need to invest into that particular area, and by some reasons we're not doing that. I don't know, lack of resources, whatever. So that one of the point in our plan of attack. So what we are proposing to do that. We are not 100% adding only our own vision how to solve the problem. Mostly, like at least at half of the propositions, they based on what we find out from the team. But our big feature, I'd say here, we are first in charge of collecting that information and creating the overall plan. That's one. And second one, we have the person who actually asks us to do that. They asks us to give a result, and when we are giving result, the level of trust for that information is much higher than we are talking about that many times for inside the team, and we are not taking the decision. They not find the correct words. We have a lot of concerns and stuff like that. So that's a hack inside the organization. We are delivering the partially same information the team already known, but in the compacted and concise way. That's our mission, I'd say.
So basically, I think, Darren, to summarize it, number one, there should be there is a prerequisite. There needs to be at least one person on the C level, right, or maybe the owner or whatever it is, that is the initiator and has enough of political will at least to initiate the audit, right? The second factor here is that the audit is actually like a summary of the problems and issues that are gathered from the operational level that probably the C level doesn't see or do not notice for some reason, right? So all that argumentation gathered in a report backed by numbers, tests, and so on and so forth is fairly heavy argumentation to do something at least about, I don't know, the most critical issues, right?
Yeah.
And to start driving change. I hope we answered your question in that regard. And Parvey, the same answer, I guess, applies to your question.
Yeah, so bureaucracy and one of the issues inside the company. Yeah. So and we are clearly defined that, yeah, guys, you have a very complicated processes. They very backed with a lot of different steps, bureaucratical steps, and we need to get rid of that. All right, maybe not fully, maybe partially, whatever.